and welcome to another video tutorial Monday. Today I wanted to share a card using this ruler ribbon that I just got from Tim Holtz. I actually won it from Simon Says Stamp by doing one of their contests on Twitter. So thank you Simon Says Stamp for this ribbon, and I wanted to go ahead and use it today. I just got it yesterday, so I'm really excited. And it's this kind of cloth-like texture. It's actually a full 36-inch ribbon, so you could technically use it as even a measurement strip if you wanted to. But I'm just going to go ahead and use it like this and cut off the ends. So I figured in order to use it, I would bring out some of my other Tim Holtz products that I love. So I have a piece cut out from Resist's cardstock. This is his pattern paper pad released at CHA Winter 2011. And I've just cut down this piece of paper so that I have a little square in this corner. And this is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And I'm going to distress it with a little bit of edge distressing using this Tonic Tim Holtz distresser tool. And I'm just going to do that by rubbing the edges slightly. And so now that I have my edges distressed just a bit, I'm going to go ahead with some Vintage Photo Distress ink and use my mat, my craft mat here, and just work the ink onto the edges. And this will not only help the resist show up, but it will also just give it a really good grungy look. So I'm just going to go around the edges. I'm not adding a whole lot of ink, but just adding some dimension to the card. Yeah, I think the next thing I'm going to do is get my card base ready. So I'm going to use my inking tool again to go around the edges here of my Vintage Cream cardstock base. And not too much of this is going to show, so you don't need to worry about it making the middle look perfect, just the first 1/4 inch on each edge. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and adhere this piece of paper down with my ATG. And now before I go any further, I want to make sure I have my sentiment on here. So I'm going to be using this set from Paper Smooches, and this is called their Pretty Phrases stamp set. I just love these. I love Kim Hughes' style so much. I'm looking forward to collecting a lot more of her stamps. And I decided to try something a little bit funky here. I took this piece of tissue paper. It's just something I had lying around from either a previous present or buying something in the store. And I'm going to ink my stamp with my Memento black ink and then just stamp down on my tissue paper. Perfect. The next thing I'm going to do is cut this out in kind of a strip as I would with a paper trimmer, but since this is so light it won't actually work very well on a paper trimmer. So I'm just going to use my Tim Holtz ruler and line it up, just making sure that it's square, so basically straight, and then cutting off the excess on the top and the bottom. And now that I have this, I'm going to go ahead and ink it just to make it match in color of everything else so far, just very lightly going over the top of it here. And then I can go ahead and I'm going to crinkle it just a little bit, just to give it some character. And this is where liquid glue definitely comes in handy. I'm just going to put a really thin coat over the back of this with my glossy accents here, and then actually spread it out with my finger just to make everything very smooth. And then adhere it to my card. And I want it kind of on a diagonal, so I'll make sure to do that. And make sure you adhere it down with as many wrinkles as you want in it. So I want some wrinkles in this, so I'm making sure it's not completely flat. And any areas that you really didn't get adhesive underneath, you can go back and add some if necessary. To make the edges nice and clean, I'm just going to add some more adhesive here and then wrap the tissue paper around to the inside. And on this side, I'll just trim it off a little bit before I wrap it, so there's not too much excess, and then I can just wrap it right around. Next, I just added a little bit of more inking on top to really bring it together. And I'm going to add some of this tape. This is from K & Company and their Smash line of products. And I'm going to continue this diagonal theme by making this little diagonal line here and then wrapping it around. And one more time I'm going to go over that line and make it completely parallel to my sentiment strip. And then on top of that, I can go ahead and add my ruler tape here. And in order to adhere it down, I'm actually going to use some score tape. So I'm just going to cut this piece down to slightly bigger than the width of my card. And then adhere it to the back of my ribbon. And this will just give you a really strong bond, and it will hold down the tape. It'll hold down the ribbon without it showing or bunching in any way. So now I think we should add one more layer of this awesome crisscrossing here. So I think it'd be really cool to add a little bow out of some jute twine. And I'm going to start it out up here. I might move it down, I'm not sure yet. But I'm just going to tie it kind of on a diagonal, and this will give me enough slack to play with when I'm adjusting my bow. And I think it'll be really good to cover up this line of the tissue paper. So I'm going to tie the bow right here, or I'm going to leave the bow right here. And in order to make sure it stays in place, I'm actually going to adhere it down on the back side with just some more tape. Since it's the same tape that's already wrapped around the edges, it'll just look like it's meant to be there. And this will keep it in place and keep the bow looking exactly how you want it to. And then I'm also going to make this top edge look finished by cutting off a piece of twine again, and then doing the same thing just without the bow. So I'm going to secure it with the tape on both sides. And there we have it. I think I'm just going to leave it like this. If I was going to add anything else, I think it might be the Tim Holtz little brads that look like screws, but I don't actually have any of those. So I'm just going to leave it as it is because I like it this way, and I like the subtle texture and the different layers, and I think it really adds a lot to the card. So this is my card using mostly all Tim Holtz products. Even most of my tools are from Tim Holtz, which is crazy. If you wanted to, you could cut out another piece of paper, even one from the Craft Resist stack, and adhere it over the inside. I think I'll probably just leave it like this because I like the whole handmade quality, but if that bothers you, feel free to cover it up, and it'd be really easy to do. So yeah, here's the picture of the finished card, and here's a close-up. Thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you again next week on another video tutorial Monday.